Oh, it's strange. Breakups hurt, but at least they make sense. Situationships, they mess with your head in a completely different way because nothing actually ends. There's no final conversation, no clear, we're done, no moment where you can close the chapter. Just silence, confusion, and a bunch of what-ifs that refuse to leave your brain. And somehow, that hurts more. It usually starts simple. You meet someone. There's chemistry. Conversations feel easy, a little too easy. You start talking more, sharing more. Late night calls, random "I miss you" texts that feel real. And just when it starts to feel like it's becoming something, they pull away, not completely. Just enough to confuse you. One day they're all in. Next day they disappear like they accidentally opened your chat. And your brain goes, okay, but that version of them was real, right? This is where it gets dangerous. Because situationships don't run on consistency. They run on unpredictability. And your brain loves that. Not in a healthy way, in a slot machine way. You don't win every time. But when you do, it hits harder. That random 2 a.m. "I miss you" text, that's your jackpot. Now you're hooked. Not on the person, but on the possibility of getting that version of them again. And here's where it gets worse. If someone breaks up with you, it hurts, but it's clear. But this stays open, so your mind keeps looping. Maybe they were just confused. Maybe I should have waited. Maybe I messed it up. It's like a Netflix show that never releases the final episode, and somehow you're still emotionally subscribed. But the most confusing part? It felt real. You shared things that mattered. You had conversations that felt deeper than casual. At times, it felt more emotionally intense than actual relationships. And then you ask one simple question, what are we? And suddenly, everyone becomes a politician. No clear answers. Just vague statements and emotional gymnastics. Like you asked a simple question and got a press conference response. So what do? You turn it inward. Because there's no clear rejection, no closure. So instead of thinking, they didn't choose me, you think, maybe I was too much. Maybe I wasn't enough. And now it's not just heartbreak, it's self-doubt. And modern dating makes this easier to fall into. Let's just go with the flow. Sounds relaxed, sounds natural, but most of the time it just means no one is making a decision. Because why choose when there might be something better one swipe away? So how do you get out of it? First, zoom out for a second. It doesn't feel confusing because it's deep. It feels confusing because it never stays consistent. They show up fully, then disappear just enough to leave you guessing. Just enough to make you question what that last moment meant. And every time they come back, it feels like progress. But nothing actually moves forward, it just repeats. So catch this pattern and be self-aware. Second, choose clarity over chemistry. Chemistry feels intense, but intensity is not stability. If something constantly leaves you unsure, that's not depth. That's instability with good marketing. Third, create your own closure. Because you might never get it from them. At some point, you have to stop waiting for an explanation and accept the decision that was already made through their actions. And finally, break the loop. Stop checking their messages. Stop rereading old conversations like it's evidence in a court case. Because every time you go back, you restart the cycle. So if you've ever felt like it didn't even become a relationship, so why does it hurt this much? Now you know. It's not because it was real, it's because it almost was. And sometimes, almost is the hardest thing to let go of.